Hi Virgo, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Gigi. All right, so I've said our prayer and I've cleansed the energy and I've cleansed the cards. I am channeling, I'm in touch with, I'm sensing a divine feminine here who is not able to rest in her energy. She's ill at ease about something, and she's genuinely unhappy. Okay, so let's just get down to it. Let's find out what's going on with this divine feminine. Okay, so Spirit, what's going on with this divine feminine, Virgo? Alright, so she's experiencing some bitterness involving something with some intimacy, whether that is physical intimacy or an intimate partner. What else, please? Some issues with loyalty and trust. That is never good. You know what I always say, there's a lot to be said, or this person brings a lot of chaos. A lot of cards came out. Past life possibilities. Man, this is a lot. It came out in reverse. So no apology. It's not shocking. Closed heart. Not only you. And not a divine masculine. The story is telling itself. Escaping on the bottom of the deck. And I just need two more. Please, we'll finish this out and then we'll get some clarity. Two cards, please. And two jumped right out there. Okay. That one came out first. No running. So running came out in reverse. And heart fog came out upright. All right, so let's look at this again, because like I said, there was a lot more than I expected. So either there's a lot to be said from spirit guides about this situation, or the person or persons involved in this situation, or there's a lot of chaos whenever there's a lot of cards that jump out like that. And I think it was about 6 cards that jumped out. So I told you I was feeling a divine feminine who was feeling ill at ease. So there was some bitterness, some resentment, some anger, and some hurtful words. Problems with some intimacy, bonding, problems feeling sensual and confiding. There were some issues with some loyalty. Trust. Being able to believe something somebody said, having experienced it. Past life came out, deja vu, but that doesn't necessarily mean literally past life. This could be just like a repeated experience, karmic lesson. This person, you've experienced this divine feminine has experienced this exact same situation with this not divine masculine before. Karmic lesson, this is a repeated pattern, is what that means. This divine feminine deserves so much more. They are free-spirited, they are a risk taker and adventurous in a positive way. You should not probably accept an apology, because it's not going to be real. You've already forgiven so many times. Many, many, many times you have forgiven, accepted terrible apologies, and only to experience the same routine over and over and over again. So if you do it again, it'll be of no shock to no one, including yourself. This person wants to pretend to be want you to be open to another experience with them, but of course you know this is going to be a repeat experience. You are not open to it. I don't think you're open to it at all, Virgo. But only you know whether or not you are going to return to this, but I don't think you are. They say they only want to be with you, but it's not true. They're going to have you in a third party situation again. Only you came out in the reverse. Again, Divine Masculine came out in the reverse. I don't think there's anything at all divine about this masculine. And by that I mean this individual, this energy hasn't done any of the work. They're running from doing the work. I think you've ghosted this person. I think that they feel like you are wrong for having done it. They're playing a game with you, with others. They're pretending that they are ghosting you. They're pretending that you've hurt them. Because when other people ask them about you, they say, oh, they hurt my feelings. They're not returning my phone calls. They blah, blah, blah. But you know that you have blocked them. You're not speaking to them. They don't deserve to be spoken to. They gambled on you. They played you for the fool, and they lost. They messed up, and they know it, but they thought that they could gamble with you. They really thought they did. They thought that they could have you in a third-party situation and win. I don't know if they had you in a third-party situation from beginning to end, or if it was a new situation that came about, but they thought that they could do it and make it work. It was a bad idea. They tried it, and they gambled, and they lost. I think you were intuitive enough to see it coming, or you figured it out. And you were smart enough to walk away from it. I think you told them, though. Ghosted came out in the reverse. I'm sorry, running came out in the reverse. I don't think that this was truly a ghosting. I don't think that you just walked away from them, pretended, just blocked. They got up the next morning. You talked to them that night, and the next morning they got up and placed a phone call to you and couldn't get through. I don't believe for a moment that that's what happened. I believe that you told them, you laid it out on the table exactly what the deal was. They played a fool that they didn't know what was happening. They pretended that they were mixed up and didn't get it. They knew exactly what was going on. You told them that you were going to block them, and you did. You stood 10 toes down on it. They just didn't believe that you were really going to do it. They were used to getting away with what they wanted. They didn't really believe that you were going to block them, and you did. So then they had to pretend to others that you blocked them, that you ghosted them, but you didn't. They knew going into it that you were done. So it wasn't a mystery. It wasn't a shock. There was no surprise. Shocking came out in the reverse. It wasn't a shock to them when communication stopped. Open heart came out in the reverse. It wasn't a shock when you blocked your emotions from them. None of this was a shock, a mystery. It, it's not a surprise. So when they decide to spin the block and come back around, they wanted to play the same old games, contact you with the same tricks as always, and pretend like nothing out of the ordinary had happened. It'd been a few months, maybe since you, maybe weeks to months since you had contact with them, and then they wanted to pretend like nothing had happened, and you didn't respond, is what I think. And so then they had to start the cycle over again. Virgo was mean to me. Virgo didn't respond to me. Virgo won't. Virgo's pretending like I don't exist, I think, is what this is. This heart fog with this person in free fall. Virgo's pretending like I don't exist because you blocked them, and they still want to pretend like they don't understand why. Like they don't get how you can treat them like you never knew them. They were never born. Yeah, they don't understand it. That's crazy. Yeah, they see it. Everything is like cyclical. They want to just keep doing things over and over and over again, not just with you, but in general. Everything is cyclical and transactional. They can just keep doing stuff over and over again in circles because they see it that way. This is giving narcissism to me. You be dealing with an air sign. There's a lot of air, free falling, a lot of, or a fire sign, a lot of air and fire. This person has problems with um, emotion, and I think whatever emotion that they gave you or showed you was false, and they know it too. I think this is the kind of person, they took whatever emotion that you showed them and they flipped it and tried to give it back to you. And that's why I say it's narcissistic tendencies here. Whatever emotion you showed them, they gave it back. If you showed them fear over a specific subject, they later showed you fear over that subject. If you showed them a love of something, however brief, over a subject, they blew it up and it became, whether good or bad, they used that love of that thing against you in some capacity. It became your favorite thing to them, even though it might have just been the smallest little thing you showed a passive liking for. And then it became something that you never heard the end of. You said, pick any random thing. I don't know. Elephant trinkets. You said you liked one day. And the next thing you know, you have an elephant trinket collection. And they're going around telling people that you just love elephant trinkets when you said you just liked them one day. I hope I'm making that make sense. They use your words against you. Okay, Virgo, sorry about that. I was saying, um, this energy is giving narcissism. All right, so this person thinks that they can go in circles back and forth with not just you, but everyone that they deal with in that capacity. So Alpha Omega came out. Basically, the choice is yours. You can choose to be free. You don't have to keep going in circles with this person. So, yeah, we really are. I'm really, really, really getting pressed for time with this. All right, so I just want to check and see, like, along this journey with you, what other message needs to come out for you here? Return. So return in this sense is going to be return to the path that you currently are on, not return to the path that going back to the person. See, your back is turned to the previous path because you've already got your back to this person. You've walked away. All these things are in reverse. You are done with this. You've moved on. So continue on the path that you're on. Ascendancy, exactly. So you need to ascend from this. You need to keep moving forward. There's nothing in this. This is a cyclical situation. It just keeps going. Some people might consider this a karmic lesson, which it is, because it would keep going if you don't learn the lesson. But I think that you have, Virgo. I think the lesson is completely learned for you. The problem is this person hasn't learned the lesson, and I think it's unfair. And I think that's why this divine feminine is feeling bitter right now, because you have been dealing. You've learned. You've done the work, and you are ascending. You've done the work. You've put in the effort, and it's unfair for you to continue in a situation with somebody who hasn't done the work. Why would you want to continue to deal with that? No one wants to. And the problem is this person, this energy just keeps being around. And for me, that is a clown. That gives clown energy. I don't know what else you would call that. Like, you aren't good for a person. Why would you just continue to keep disturbing their soul? You keep disturbing their peace. You just keep bringing the bare minimum. You don't mean them well. You keep coming and draining their energy, draining their soul, draining their spirit. For what? Energy vampire. It is all about you and what you can get out of it. Ugh. Escape. Sorry. If you are already out of this situation, Virgo, stay out of it. Because that's the reason the bitterness is there, because you feel this person lingering. They are in your energy and they are trying to suck you back in, whether they've actually made contact or not. Because, see, this person, this energy thinks that they are pious and righteous, and they are not. They have been any and everything but righteous with you and with any and everybody else. They are not righteous. They've been disconnected from their higher self and higher being for a very long time. They've lost connection with it. I could go on. Anyway, yeah, I've seen this exact energy before. Like, this energy has lost connection with its higher spirituality, higher self, higher calling, higher being, and it's it calls for someone who's done the work. It needs the energy of the person or being or energy that's done the work, because it needs to draw, it needs to feed on that. It brings you down because it has to suck on you and it has to drain you. And then once you've come down and it's beaten you down, you look in the mirror and you don't recognize yourself, then it bounces off because it sucked you of everything you could possibly have had left. Can I get an amen? And then it goes and finds somebody else to drain and suck on, and then it brings them down to they don't have anything left. And then guess what? The next thing you know, they're emailing you, they're texting you, they're in your DMs, they've written you a letter, they are popping up in front of your house, they're in your driveway. Funny how that works, isn't it? Enough is enough, right, Virgo? Anyway, if you want to talk about it in the comments. If you need to reach me, you know how to do so at one Virgo to another at gmail.com. I hope I have been of some help to you. Shine some light on what it is we're trying to figure out, needed to know, Virgo. I hope I've been some help to you. If you've enjoyed anything, I've been of help to you in any way, please feel free to hit the like button, share if possible, subscribe if you'd like. Um, until next time, love, peace, and chocolate, Virgo. Thank you for being here.